Well, voters are heading to the polls in Mexico this weekend. It's expected to be an historic presidential election as two women are leading at the polls, and that's the first time that's ever happened. Another 20,000 congressional and local positions are up for grabs as well. Campaign has already been plagued by violence, though, with a mayoral candidate gunned down at a rally earlier this week. We have analysis from Ariel Ruiz Soto, senior policy analyst at the Migration Research Institute. Ariel, maybe just start with a big picture view. I want to dig into a few issues here and how, U.S. related, but tell us about this. Two women leading the race for the first time. What do we expect?
Well, thank you for having me. Claudia Sheinbaum and Xochitl Galvez are the two leading candidates, as you mentioned. The key point that they're both trying to run on security, economic issues, as well as trying to maintain some gains from the prior administration. Even Xochitl Galvez, who is from an opposition candidate, is suggesting that she'll continue some policies that the López Obrador administration has done. Where they differ is more likely going to be on what reforms they can do in congressional institutions in Mexico and how those are implemented. But for example, if the National Guard, a civil force in Mexico that's now using police and has been used in immigration assistance and operations will continue or not. Other pieces of the puzzle here are very much the same.
Let me ask you a U.S.-specific question first, and then there's some interesting data on Mexico that I wanted to have you respond to. But we expect President Biden, I'll put up the Associated Press headline on this, to come out with a plan, said to be finalizing these plans for migrant limits as part of the U.S.-Mexico border clampdown. Next week he's expected to come out with an executive order on that. The border's a big issue here. In our election, it's usually first or second when we ask voters, hey, what's the most important issue? Immigration, usually first or second, like I said, with the economy. What about in this race in Mexico? How big of an issue?
Migration hasn't really been in the top 5 issues of Mexico. Most of what they're focusing on is going to be security, climate, water, and of course, issues around corruption, institutional financing that they've done before. But migration in Mexico's public tends to be lower toward our top 10 issues, primarily because it's seen as a U.S. issue where migrants are really trying to transit Mexico regularly to get to the United States. Because of that reason, even though most Mexicans understand and have seen increase in migration recently, they also believe and see that most migrants are actually trying to go to the United States. It doesn't mean that they will not be contentious once this happens, and whatever candidate is going to win on Sunday may actually come out and speak about what they believe they can do on immigration issues with the United States. But at least specifically, these issues of migration tend to be focused more about a relationship with the United States and what it would take for Mexico to sustain that, and at what levels and in what benefits they can do.
All right, so a couple of things here. I want to, you talked about the relationship with the United States. We have numbers showing Mexico's views on the U.S. Let me put those up for a moment. I want to ask you something else about Mexico specifically. 54% here, disapproving essentially of the United States in Mexico. 32% approving. Kind of a strange way of putting it from Gallup, but that's what they say. Now, what I want to ask you specifically about Mexico, you're saying migration might not be a big issue. The standard of living, though, has been going down according to what people's perception of it is. Again, put these numbers up on standard of living and whether it's getting better. A couple of years ago, it was 51%. 51% a couple of years ago, 68%, now 73% say it's getting better. Misspoke there coming into it. So what is happening in Mexico? Are things actually getting better? And how is that playing into this election in terms of the optimism of the people there? You don't often see that.
Right, and that's perhaps one of the biggest victories for the current administration of President López Obrador. It's been increasing its economic growth despite the slow start after the pandemic in 2020. And over the last few years, Mexico has gradually but sustainably increased its economic output and power, primarily because of increasing trade with the U.S., but also other key partners, the EU and China as well. What has set economic factors differently today in the Mexican public has been that essentially the investment of the government has been kept narrow, while at the same time direct foreign investment and remittances, a significant motor for the Mexican economy, have continued to increase. And on balance, what this means is that Mexico's broader economic perspective is good. That doesn't mean that inequality has decreased. And in fact, what we've seen in the past is that Mexico continues to be one of the most unequal opportunities in terms of economic standards.
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.